Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to We the People Prepping. My name is Dan. Today, I was reading some articles online. One was from the LA Times and the other was from Time Magazine. First, let's get to the LA Times one, shall we? This liberal nut job reporter, columnist, whatever the hell you want to call her, she wrote an article because her neighbors, which were Trump supporters, were kind enough to plow her driveway at her pandemic retreat home, and apparently it gave her mixed emotions. It gave her a conflict. And she, because she is a liberal and she supported Joe Biden, and they are Trump supporters, but they did a kindness for her. And she doesn't understand how it is that any Trump supporter could do a kindness for anybody. She goes on in this rant to basically compare, well, actually she did compare Trump supporters to people like Farrakhan, and she went as far as to compare Trump supporters to those in the Third Reich. Okay, I mean, this woman is totally delusional in her thinking. She went on a tangent, and the LA Times actually published this article. It was a couple of days ago that they'd published this, and they've gotten a lot of backlash over this article. But she's basically she's comparing all Trump supporters to the Third Reich and stuff like that, and said that even the Third Reich were kinder than the Trump supporters and so forth, but she said that even the Third Reich showed kindness and stuff like that. And it astounds me that how hateful those on the left are. You know, these people were nice enough that they plow your driveway, they clear it out so that you won't have to do it yourself, so that you would be able to get out, go to work, or go to the store, or wherever you're going. You know, and all you can do is rant and rave and accuse them of being white supremacists and fascists and all sorts of other things, simply because of their political views. Now, personally, I think she made the whole damn thing up just to basically get attention, okay? Because, her neighbors are going to know who the article is about, okay? And why would you be stupid enough to write an article like that about your neighbors, especially if you believe that they are genocidal maniacs, like you're claiming in your article? I mean, I would be afraid to write something like that if I was this woman, because if they were everything that she says that they are, then what would stop them from, seeing the article, knowing it was about them, and exacting revenge? But these people aren't like that. These are good people that they did a good act out of the kindness of their heart, and they got bashed for it. This is the liberal mentality. We all know this. We've seen it time and time again. But if I was this woman's neighbor, I would go and put all of the snow back in her driveway plus some extra. Just to be an asshole, since she wants to be an asshole. I mean, that's, it just goes to show that no good deed ever goes unpunished. She claims that basically all 74 million people that voted for Trump are psychotic, genocidal maniacs, and all that kind of crap. So the liberal mentality is just astounding to me. They can't even take a kindness that somebody did for them as what it is, a kindness. They didn't ask her for money or nothing like that. She woke up and they'd already cleared her driveway for her. So I mean, why can't you just go over to your neighbors and say thank you, instead of going and lying and ranting and raving? Like I said, I don't believe that this actually happened. I think it's something that she made up in her twisted liberal mind. That it's just like AOC and all them with their fairy tales that they're telling about how they survived the Capitol attack, and they were so scared for their lives and all this stuff, and they weren't even there. But okay, now we'll move on to the Time magazine article. And I'm going to post a link to this article down in the comment, or down in the description. And basically, this article pretty much admits that they rigged the election, except they're not calling it rigging of an election. They're calling it fortifying the election. Okay? They fortified the election to ensure that Joe Biden would be the winner. That mainstream media, social media, big tech, all big business, they all basically, in this article, they're telling about how they all joined forces to ensure that Biden would win and Trump would lose. It's basically an admission to what Trump's been saying. Okay, which is really funny. Because, you're not even allowed to say that the election was rigged or stolen, but here they come right out and they admit it in the New York, or in the Time magazine. I read through this and I was just like, wow, okay, this is a full-out admission of guilt. They talk about how they had last-minute changes done to the way that the elections would be counted, and all this stuff in order to fortify the election for Joe Biden. Okay, they didn't rig the election. They fortified Joe Biden's win. Okay, same damn thing to me. It's wow. And more than likely this video will get pulled down by YouTube. Let's face it, they're censoring everybody that says anything about it. Which is a total asshole move, considering Time magazine just came out and admitted what they'd done. And now we start the impeachment trial tomorrow of Donald Trump, the sham of a trial, which is totally unconstitutional to begin with, because an impeachment trial is to remove a sitting president from power. He is not a sitting president anymore, so this shouldn't even be happening. And they're saying that his speech and the things he said is what instigated the riot at the Capitol. Okay, well, I seem to remember Democrats all year 2020 instigating with their speech riots, looting, burning, protesting, all that kind of crap. Maxine Waters herself, and she's denying this now, which is really funny, because there's videotape of her saying it. Now she's going back and she's saying, "Oh, that's not what I said," but it clearly is what she said if you watch the videos. That people should harass Trump supporters, Trump staff, and all that they should, basically assault Trump supporters, that they should get in their faces, and okay, so and she's not the only one. I mean, come on, we've all heard it all from the left and from people like Nancy Pelosi herself. They were all in support of the looting, rioting, burning down, all of that, until it happened to them, of course. When they were the ones under attack, then it became an issue. But when it was the American people, you and me, that were under attack, they're just peacefully protesting. Okay. But, if what Trump said instigated the riot, which I listened to the entire speech that day, and I heard him to tell them to march on the Capitol peacefully. Okay, key word there, peacefully. He said to let them hear their voices peacefully. Okay, so I'm not sure how they're considering him instigating the attack, but I can tell you that a lot of attacks did happen after Maxine Waters had gone and off on her tangent, telling the leftists to attack Trump supporters and Trump staff members and anybody associated with Trump whatsoever. I recall after Nancy Pelosi said some similar things, that people started doing the same thing again. So if Trump's being held responsible for a speech where he told them to be peaceful, then why are we not holding the Democrats responsible for what they said all of last year that instigated riots and looting and burning of buildings and cities, and for the attacks on the American people, the attacks on anybody that supported Trump, the terrorism of America. Okay, these are the people that instigated a attack, an assault on people's civil liberties, on people themselves. They condoned it. They instigated it. They promoted it. Okay, so why are these people like Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi and all of them, Chuck Schumer even, why are they not being held to the same standard as Trump? Why are they not being removed from office? I mean, we have video of the things that they said. And they're denying what they said, but it's on video. Okay, you can deny all you want, but the old adage, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, how much is a video worth? I mean, come on. These people are the enemy of the United States. They are the domestic terrorists. Not us, them. And the whole thing with the impeachment of Trump and the everything that they did to keep him from getting in office, all of this is basically to discourage anybody in the future from doing what Trump did. From coming in and rocking the boat and trying to clean out the swamp. It's to discourage anybody from standing up, and protecting the United States and the Constitution and the people of the United States. That is what this is all about. If they can make Trump's life, I mean, they want to wipe his entire legacy out, and they want to bankrupt him and try to get him to flee to another country for asylum is what they're trying to do. Now, if they can do all of this that they're wanting to do to Trump, how discouraging is that going to be to the next person that thinks, oh, well, maybe I should run for president so I can get the country straight and get things back on track and actually do something good for the American people and for the country that I love. You know, how discouraging is that going to be? And the thing is, the Republicans are going right along with all of this. I mean, you know, you've got several that are actually talking about, you know, voting for his impeachment. I mean, yeah, they need like I think 16 or 17 votes, and of the Republican votes, but they're probably only going to get maybe 10 or 12 at the most. You know, but still, you know. The leadership in the Republican Party right now is falling in line with the Democrats. They're all the swamp. Every single one of them. You know, I mean, you might have a couple that are decent, honestly. Okay, you know, I know that Ted Cruz has stood up and is pushing back, and Rand Paul is pushing back. You know. There's even well, there's only a few, really, honestly. The reason that all of them aren't going ahead and pushing for is because it would destroy the Republican Party if the Republicans went ahead and voted to impeach, because they know that if they impeach Trump, it is the end of the Republican Party, period. Okay, because ain't a single one of us, I mean, we're already disgusted with that party as it is, because they have no backbone anymore. They got no huevos. You know, they won't stand up to the Democrats. They kowtow. You know, and they're so afraid of being called a racist, a white supremacist, you know, that they try to distance themselves from the actual people of their party, because I believe that they're a bunch of cowards. You know, they're afraid of what people might think of them if they stood up. You know, okay, the leftists are already going to be calling you that no matter what. You know, so you might as well stand with your party. Stand with the people of your party, those that voted you into office. You know, stand with those people. We're sick and tired of being called racists and white supremacists and all this crap. You know, and it's funny because I got into an argument with a liberal a few days ago, and the liberal said, well, you don't have to be white to be a white supremacist. Okay, so how does that work? A black man's a white supremacist. So you're saying that the black and Latino and Chinese and everybody that voted for Trump are white supremacists. They believe that the white race is superior to their race. That's what you're saying. Okay? That makes absolutely no sense. Because I don't know a black man, a Latino man, a Filipino man, or any man or woman, honestly, that is of a different race, you know, a different skin color, that believes that they are inferior to any other race. You know, I've met plenty of other races, you know, where they thought that they were superior to the white race. Hey, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't care. I'm not superior to anybody, and I'm not inferior to anybody. I treat everybody as an equal. You know, now if I treat you like an asshole, it's because you are an asshole and you deserve to be treated that way. You know. pissed me off when I seen it from the pulpit, and I spoke up, and I told him, how would you know if Jesus came walking into the church and he was wearing rags? You could very well be throwing out the Son of God. You don't know. You should never judge by an appearance. Some of the nicest people I've ever met, believe it or not, were homeless people. Yes, there are a lot out there that have some serious psychological issues, and there are some bad ones out there, but a lot of the people that live on the streets don't want to live there. Just the circumstances in their life led them to where they're at. So when you see somebody, on the street and they're asking for help, don't just assume that they're drug addicts or that they're mentally deranged or nothing like that, because a lot of them that are on the streets, I was on the streets. Circumstances led me to where I was having to live on the streets. I am not a psycho. Okay. I am, an educated man. I'm hardworking. I needed help, but nobody would help me. I don't judge by your appearance. None of us should. I don't judge you by any of that. I judge you by the content of your character, how you act, how you treat people, the mentality that you carry with you. That's what I judge you by. And I don't really so much judge as, I evaluate you. I size you up, find out what kind of a person you are. If you're a good person, hey, I'll be your best friend. If you're a bad person, I could be your worst enemy. But I've been rambling on long enough. This is Dan with We the People Prepping. If you like my content, please hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Share my content with friends. Ring that little bell so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video or whatever. If you want to support my channel or just buy me coffee, there will be links as well to that in the description. I appreciate your time. Now I'm not asking anybody for money. If you want to give it, you give it. If you don't. I'm not here to try to make money off of you, but I don't like to ask anybody for anything. That's why I said, if you want to, you can. If you don't. I'm just as happy with a good comment, so I appreciate it. You all have a good night. God bless. Bye.